Hello everyone, welcome to DHS Informatics. In this session, I am going to cover core Java concepts. What is Java? Java is a programming language and a platform independent. Irrespective of the platform, the JVM belongs to the generated bytecodes can run on any JVM. The outputs of the bytecode run on any JVM will be the same. Hence, the Java is called as platform independent. Java is high level, robust, secured and object oriented programming language. Where it is used: desktop applications, web applications, enterprise applications and mobile applications. Types of applications: standalone application or window based application, web application, enterprise application and mobile applications. Standalone application or window-based application. These applications are need to install on every machine. Standalone application are also known as desktop or window-based application. These are the traditional software that we need to install on every machine. Example for standalone applications are media player, antivirus, etc. To develop these standalone application, we need AWT and swings. Web applications. Server side, this applications runs on the server side and creates a dynamic page is called as web application. So now we'll be using Servlet, JSP, Struts, Springs, Hibernate, etc. technology to develop a web application in Java. Mobile application. An application that is created for mobile devices. Currently, Android and Java ME are used for creating mobile applications. Java features. Object-oriented. Java is an object-oriented programming language. Everything in Java is an object. Basic concepts of OOPS are object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So now we have a Java code which is stored as .java, and we are going to compile it using Java C, that is Java compiler, and it is going to generate some .class files which are called as bytecodes. So these bytecodes can be run on Mac, Windows or Linux operating system using JVM. JVM is Java Virtual Machine. Creating a hello world in Java. So how we can create it? So here we have an Eclipse. Here I am going to create one class. So here I will use com.dhs. So com.dhs is a package name. In Java, packages are group of classes or interfaces. So here I will give a class name. So package name and class name. So this Java file is stored as hello world because the class is hello world. And now here main method. So here I am going to use system.out.println. So inside this system.out.println I am going to write hello. So now right click, run as Java application. Here in the console you can see hello is printed. So system.out.println is used to print information. Model statement you are going to write inside these two brackets. So here you can see class simple they have used. You can use any name. Public static void main. This should be same. And system.out.println, which is going to print what are the information you are going to provide. Save this file as what? Simple.java. It means what are the class name you are going to specify, same name only it should have. To compile you should use Java C simple.java. It means simple is your file name and also as well as class name. And to execute Java simple. Simple is what? Your file name. So once you execute it, it is going to display this hello Java. But to compile, while compiling only, what it is going to generate? Dot class files that are nothing but bytecode. So parameters. So class is what? Class is a keyword used to declare a class in Java. And public is nothing but it is a keyword, and also it is called as an access modifier, which represents a visibility. Public means visible to all. Void means it won't return anything. Void is the return type of the method. It doesn't return any value. It is only going to return a control. And we have a main. Main represents the starting point of the program. String argument is used for a command line argument. And system.out.println is used to print a statement. Next we have JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So JVM, what all the following it is what all the operation it is going to perform is, it loads the code, verifies the code, executes the code from environment. Java variables. A variable is a name of memory location. It is used to store a data. Its value can be changed and it can be reused many times. So variable, for example, I can declare variable as I can use variable as A, B, C, D, anything I can use. But it will, whatever the data you are going to store, that is depending on the data types. What are the data types you are going to use? Types of variable. So we have local variable, instance variable, static variable. So this local variable, you can see, local variable is declared inside the method, and that local variable should not be static. We cannot declare that local variable as a static. Instance variable. This is it is also called as global non-static variable. A variable declared inside the class and outside the body of the method is called as instance variable. It is not declared as a static because it is a non-static global variable. A variable which is declared as static is called as static variable. This is a global static variable. It cannot be local. You can create a single copy of static variable and share among all the instances of the class. Okay, for like static and non-static variable we'll discuss now. So right click, new class, static and non-static. So here I'm going to create another class which will hold static variables, and another class which is going to hold non-static variables. And here I am going to use static int I is equal to 10. Here I am going to use int j is equal to 20. So if I want to access this variable in the main class, that is where we will be having main method. So if I want to access those variables, what I can just take, I can take class name static dot, what is the value? I. So inside one integer I can store it, int a. So now what I can do, system.out.println static variable. So here I am going to display a. So now if I run this, you can see I can access the value in this class. Now if I want to access non-static variable, so how we can access is, you can see here non-static var dot. If I give, I am not getting any suggestion for that variable. So what I should do now, I should create an object of it. So new. So using new keyword, what I can do, I can create an object. So n dot. So now n dot j. So here I am going to again declare int b is equal to, and I am going to print it. System.out.println, here non-static variable. So here I am going to display it and run as Java application. You can see static variable is 10 and non-static variable is 20. So if I want to extract static variable, I can use class name dot variable name. If I want to take non-static variables, I should create a object of it. That is the difference between static and non-static variables. And you can see I am going to create another variable, not variable. I am going to create one method, public void test. So inside this method I am going to write some information. So here I have created a test method. So inside this I am going to print some information. So now if I right click and run this program, nothing is put in I is equal to 10, or else not in k is equal to 5, and here I am going to declare it 5. And also what I can do, or else add 5 and I is what, 10. So what I can do here, 5 plus I. So now it should display 5 is nothing but k. So what I can take here, k plus I. So now if I want to execute it, it should be static, and I should call this here. What is the method name? What is the class name here? Static var dot test method I should call here. One method in the main method, I should call that method. So here you can see non-static, not here, here. This is test add 5 and I. So I plus k is what? 10. Sorry, 10 plus 5 is 50. So here k and I. So once I run it, you can see k and I is 50. So that is nothing but 10 plus 5 is 50. Like this, what we can do, we can call a static method. So again what I am going to do here is I will copy this and I am going to paste it here, and instead of here I am going to provide a j. So here you can observe, okay, again if I want to access it, you can see change modify j as a static, or else again what you should do, how you can access, again you should create a object of it. So what I am going to take here is int j is equal to 7, something like this I am going to take. So now how I can access this test method here if I want to call it. So now what I am going to do, I'll just execute it. So the before, what are the result we are getting, the same result only I am getting now. So now we have a reference variable dot test method. So once I call it, you can see run as Java application. I am getting the another value which is nothing but here. So this is j. So again I am going to execute it. So this is a test add k and j. So which two things it is adding? 7 and 5, not 20, because 20 is outside the test method and inside the class. So what it is accessing, only inside whatever the variable it is there, those variables only it is accessing first. Like this, what we can do, we can use static, non-static as well as local variables. Next we have here, you can see inside the class I have declared one non-static variable which is nothing but data is equal to 50. That is an instance variable. Instance means global non-static variable. Static int m is equal to 100 is a static variable because we are declared this as a static, and we have a void method, which is nothing but is one method. So here inside the method I am going to declare local variable. Next we have data types. Data types is nothing but it specifies the different size and values that can be stored in the variable. There are two types of data types in the Java: primitive, non-primitive. Primitive data types are integer, floating point, character, boolean. Primitives are classes, interfaces, arrays, strings. Here we have a data types: byte 1, short 2, int 4, long 8. Here we have a data type: boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float, double. And what will be the default values and what will be the default size? For boolean 1 bit, character 2 byte, byte 1 byte, so shorts 2 byte. Like this we have a default size. Now we have a concept called typecasting. Typecasting is nothing but converting one type to another type. So one primitive type to another primitive type. So here we have two types in that: widening and narrowing. Widening is nothing but from short, less data to convert lower data type to higher data type. So this will be implicit, so no need to add any extra casting statement for it. So next we have narrowing, that is nothing but higher data type you are converting to lower data type. That time you should do it explicitly by adding a casting statement. So how we can do that is, you can see I am going to create another class, new class. Here I am going to take typecasting. So first what I will take, I will just do widening. So this single forward slash is used for single line comment. So now I am going to take int I is equal to 10 and I am going to store this in double d is equal to I. So there is no error. So I am going to take system.out.println println. So here I am going to display first I value, I. Now okay, so before that what I should call to execute this program should be executed, right? So for that we need main method. So inside the main method only I should place this all information here. So now again what I am going to do, system.out.println d. So now if I execute it, you can see first it will be 10, means I value. So here I am going to consider it as a I, and here I will just declare it as a d. So now what I am going to do, I will just execute it. You can see I value is 10. After converting, this is a lower data type, I am going to convert it to higher data type. So once I do it, so first lower data type will be 10 only, and I am going to casting, like widening we are doing, so that will be stored in a double, which is higher data type. So how much value it is stored? 10.0. that is nothing but widening. Now I will go to narrowing. So here what I am going to do, I will take a double value, double is equal to, now I am going to assign 5.7 some value. So now what I will do, I will convert it to int val is equal to, I am going to make it as d. So now we can see some error it is throwing. So what it is, add cast to int, change type of val to double, change type of db to int. So if you change db to int, what it is going to, it is not going to take 0.7 value. And if you change double to change type of val to double, then it will be same only. Why to change like integer to double? because we are doing narrowing, right? So we should store it as an integer value only. And the first option you can say add cast to int. This add cast to int is nothing but here you should manually add this casting statement. So this is nothing but what it will do, whatever the value it is stored, no, that value it is going to convert into int. After that it is going to assign it to value. So now I am going to display db value here first. So that is db, and the next thing is I am going to display value, which is that after narrowing what will be the value. So now I am going to execute. Here it is. Now 5.7 is there. So integer I am converting, so it is only taking 5, means 0.7 it is not taking. Like this, what we can do, we can perform typecasting in Java. Operators. So we have many operators like arithmetic operator, shift, bitwise, assignment, logical, conditional, like that many operators we have. So to perform addition, subtraction, we need arithmetic operator, and if I want to compare some values less than, greater than, those all conditions we have. So to comparison and all we need operators. So these are the operators we are using in Java. Next we have operators to perform some operation. So here in Java also we follow BODMAS rule. Next we have Java access specifiers. So Java access specifiers regulate access to classes, fields and methods in Java. So now we have 4 access specifiers: private, default, protected, public. So private, default means what? You are not going to specify any modifiers. So it means visible to the package. Package means what? Group of classes or group of interfaces. So next, visible to the class. Next, what is that? Private. So visible to that only class. Visible to the world, that is public. Visible to all the, like what are the package you are going to take, for all it will be visible. Next, protected is for visible to the packages and all subclasses. So here we have private means within a class we can access the specifier, public anywhere we can access, default within a package we can access, protected only within a package and also subclass we can access. So here you can see private means within a class, within a class only. Default means within a class, within a package. Protected means within a class, within a package, and outside the package by subclass only. Public means anywhere. Next we have OOPS. Object Oriented Programming is a methodology to design a program using classes and objects. It simplifies the software development and maintenance by providing some concepts. So object, what is object? Any entity that has a state and behavior is known as an object. And class is a collection of object or an instance of object is called as class. Here we have an example. So dog1, dog2, dog3 objects. So if I take breed, size, color, age, it will be different. So those we can consider it as a state, and behavior we can consider it as a methods like eat, run, sleep, name, like this. So this is a simple example for class and object. Next we have inheritance. Inheritance is nothing but a child class acquiring the properties, all the properties of parent class. So it provides code reusability. So for example, where we can use inheritance. So for example, if I want to use some method, or else if one add method is used in one class, superclass. So if I want to add in my class, that time I can extend. It means extends is a keyword which is used for inheritance. So we can extend that superclass so that I can just override that method, or the add method they have used. I can perform however, like user however they want, they can modify it. So like that, what we can do, we can use we can provide, this inheritance provides code reusability. So we have many types in inheritance. Single inheritance. So in Java, one class is there means that will be inheriting object class. Object class is a supermost class in Java. So that class, it will be inheriting directly or indirectly. So single inheritance, class B inheriting the properties of class A. Next, this is a single inheritance. Next, multi-level inheritance means one class acquiring the properties of another class and that class again acquiring the properties of another class. Next, we have hierarchical inheritance, that is one or more class acquiring the properties of one superclass. Next, we have multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. I already mentioned the supermost class in Java is object class. A class will be directly or indirectly inheriting that class. So here class C is a subclass here. So whenever I want to inherit the properties of object class, from which route I should follow, whether class A or class B, that will be the first confusion for the compiler. So that is a one drawback, and that will for that only it doesn't support multiple inheritance. Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. It is also called as diamond problem. And the next thing is super. I think it is a super keyword which is used to call superclass constructor from the subclass constructor. If you don't mention it also, it is going to call superclass constructor from the subclass constructor. So whenever class C is started executing, whenever class C constructor is going to call superclass constructor, which constructor you should choose, whether class A constructor or class B constructor, that will be very confusing. So that is the second reason why Java does not support multiple inheritance. And the third reason is consider class A and class B both having one common method called test. So that name will be test. So now I want to call that method using class C. So I am going to create an object of class C, and using C, what I will do, like reference variable, I am going to call test method. So which method you should call, whether class A method it should call or class B method it should call, that will be the biggest confusion. So Java does not support multiple inheritance. Next we have polymorphism. So here you can see shape draw is there. So that may be a triangle, rectangle or a circle. So poly means what? Many. Morphos means forms. Thus a single task is performed by different ways. For example, draw is there. That may be triangle, circle or rectangle. So like that a single task is performed by different ways is known as polymorphism. Here in Java, polymorphism is achieved by using method overloading and method overloading. Method overloading is a feature that allows a class to have more than one method having the same name if their argument lists are different. It is a similar to constructor overloading in Java that allows a class to have more than one constructor having different argument lists. For example, if I want to draw a triangle or else triangle, square and rectangle. So what I can do, I can provide like draw for triangle is in I am going to pass a parameter as int A, int B, int C. So 3 parameters. Next I am going to pass for rectangle a draw, again int A, int B, int C, int D I am going to pass. So parameter will be different. So like this what we can do with the same method name, I can use more methods with the same name only, with the same method name only. Next we have method overriding. So the method overriding, to achieve method overriding we should perform inheritance. So method overriding is a feature that allows a class to have more than one, not method overloading, it is method overriding. So method overriding we have is so here method overriding, it should have whenever we want to perform method overriding, inheritance is compulsory. So declaring a method in a subclass which is already present in parent class is known as method overriding. Overriding is done so that child class can give its own implementation to a method which is already provided by the parent class. It means already in the parent class that method will be there. So using inheritance, what I can do, I can override that method which is present in the parent class, and however I want the implementation, I can modify it. So that is called as method overriding. Next we have encapsulation. Encapsulation is binding the data and code in a single unit. It is called as encapsulation. It also provides security to keep them safe from the changes. Here we are going to declare a variable as a private, and using getters and setters method we can modify and read the variables. Abstraction, hiding the internal details and showing functionality, is known as abstraction. For example, whenever you are going to ATM and you are going to swipe your card and you are going to withdraw some amount, so if you enter a wrong pin, it will not allow you to do transactions. So that implementation whatever they did, that will be not visible to the user, that will be hidden. Only the functionality like your pin is wrong, those functionalities only user can see. So that is achieved using abstraction. Next we have Java condition statements. So the Java if statement is used to test the condition whether true or false. It checks boolean condition true or false. So there are various types of if statements, that is if statement, if else statement, and if else if nested loop. Those all things it will contain. So now first we'll study if statement. If means what? If some condition I have given, so that condition is true means it will execute the code inside that if condition, if body, whatever the condition is there, after that code to be executed is there, that code will be executed, and if that condition is false, it will come out of that body. So next we have, here we have an example, so we'll see that here. So right click, name, class, here I'll just give if statement. So here I'm going to use main method. So inside this I'm going to take I is equal to 5. So if, so inside this if I'm going to check whether I is less than 5. So system.out.println, so I is less. So like this I'm going to declare and I'm going to run it. So here it is not displaying anything, you can see, because I is less than 5 have given. If I give I is less than or equal to 5 means run as Java application, it is displaying. Okay, so if I give here 3, so now if I run it, you can see, so 5 is not less than or equal to 3, it is greater than or equal to 3. So I'm going to give here it as a 10. Now that is going to display I is less. So now we have if else statement. If condition, that condition is true means it is going to execute the code. Else means if that condition is true, then only it is going to execute this statement. Else, if that condition is false, then it is going to else condition, that is else, whatever inside the else body, whatever the thing I'm going to write, that code it is going to execute. Here you can see int number is equal to 30. So number mod 2 is equal to 0 means even number. Else it is a odd number. Like this, what we can do, we can execute. So for example, I'm going to just delete this, and here I'm going to take int num is equal to 12. So if, so what I'm going to do, num mod 2 equal to 0 means this will be what? This will be even number. So I'm going to make it as even number or else. So here I'm going to take else statement. So here system.out.println, this is a odd number. Odd number. So once if I execute it, 12 is a even number. So even number. If I make it as 11 and if I execute it, so it is a odd number. It means if this statement, if this condition satisfies it, if it is true means this code will be executed inside the if body. So if this condition is false means it will go to else and it is going to execute this code. Like this we can use if statement. Next, if else statement. Next we have for loop. So consider you don't know about for loop. So if I tell you to display or display Java 10 times, how we are going to write the program? System.out.println 10 times you are going to display it. So if you know the for loop, you can write it in 2 to 3 lines. So how we can use this for loop is for initialization. So you should initialize one value. So condition you should provide increment or decrement, whether I should increment it or decrement it, that I should specify here. And if condition becomes false, then it will come out of the loop. So here we are going to display from 1 to 10, that is main method. Int I, it is an initialization. So int I is equal to 1, from 1 to I less than equal to 10 till 10 I plus plus means it should increment. So first time I equal to 1 means first it is going to display 1. Next I plus plus means 2. So I becomes 2. 2 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. So 2 is going to display. Next I plus plus 3. Like this it will going to display till 10. So after 10 I plus plus it will be 11. 11 less than or equal to 10, it will be false. So it will come out of that loop. So for example I am going to class. So I am going to take for loop here. So in this I am going to take main method. So here what I will take for int num is equal to 0, num less than 5, num plus plus. So now here I am going to display system.out.println. So Java I am going to display, and what will be the number, so that also I am going to display. So number will be num. So now run as Java application. You can see Java num 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why it is started from 0? Because I have given here that as a 0. If I want, I can make it as a 1. So if I make it as a 1, what it is going to do, display here Java num 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 1, 2, 3, 4 it is going to display. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So why it is not displaying 5? Because I will make it as less than 5. If I make it as less than or equal to 5 means it is going to display that also. Like this, what we can do, we can use for loop. Next we have while loop. So the Java while loop is used to iterate a part of a program several times. If the number of iteration is not fixed, it is just recommended to use while loop. So for example, if I want to use while loop, I should provide some condition, while condition, and code to be executed. For example, if I make I is equal to 10, only I want to travel while loop when I becomes 20. So that thing what we can use, like that type of situation we can use while loop. So for example, you can see I is 1, I have already declared. I less than equal to 10, system.out.println I. So this is a I plus plus. So here same like whatever thing for loop we use, same like that only. We are checking condition here. First we are initializing, checking condition and incrementing. But in real time, whenever we are using while loop, we will be using for result set. In our whenever we are going to fetch some information from the database, we will be using while loop whether to check whether that result set will be having some information or not. So like this, what we can do, we can use while loop. And next we have do while. So in while loop and do while loop, what is the difference? Well, difference is in do while loop, at least it will be executed your condition once. So after that it is going to check the condition. So for example, here I am going to take new class while. So here main method should take like this, while here I'll just rename this. Okay, next, now here what I'm going to do, int I is equal to 10. So here while I less than 20. So what I should do, I'll just make it as system.out.println value plus I. So I'll just right click and run it. So you can see it is running because I is less than 10, and you can see 10 is less than or equal to 20. If you loop it many times also, it will be same. So because I is less than 20, that will be true only. So it is going to execute several times. So what I am going to do here, I plus plus I am going to do here. I plus plus. So once I do it, then right click run as Java application. You can see, so till from 10 to 19 it is displaying. So now here what I am going to do is int, I'll take another variable, k is equal to 5 I am going to take. So I am going to use do. So inside this system.out.println k value I am going to display. So here while condition, what I am going to check is whether k is less than 3. I am going to check and semicolon here. So here the same condition only I am going to give. So here also k I is equal to 5, I less than 3 or not, I am going to check. So run as Java application. Here you can see, here in the first while loop 5 is less than 3, that is not true, so it is not executed any of this. But here int k is equal to 5, but here after displaying one time it is going to check a condition, that is 5 less than 3. So first what it is going to do, first time whatever the value is there, it is directly display, it won't do anything. First it will display and after that it is going to check in do while. But while first it is going to check, after that it is going to display. That is the difference between while and do while. So here you can see do while also the same method, like same program only they used. Next we have single line comment and multi-line comment. If I want to comment anything, comment means what? That line of code should not be executed. So multi-line comment means what? Like for example 3 to 4 lines you want to comment at a time. So you can't like every time you should not use forward slash and each and every line you should apply a single line comment. That will be not feasible. So for multi-line comment we are using forward slash and star. For single line comment we are using forward double slash. So for this one you can see, so how we can comment it. So here I am going to use, this is a while loop. So while loop I am going to use. So it is throwing error, but once I make it a single line comment, you can see it is not throwing any error now. Now if for example I want to comment this much, it means I don't want to execute it. So now what I can do, I can execute only these lines of code. So now I am going to remove it. I am going to comment only this much. So you can see forward slash star. So now if I run it, it is not going to display anything. So if I make it as 30, something like this, so it is going to display run as Java application. It is going to display you some value. Like this, what we can do, we can use single line comment as well as multi-line comment. So if you have any doubts, let me know. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you.